Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. And if this is your first time here, hello, welcome. This is Essential Patience and I am Patience. And in today's video, I'll be talking about why working from home is not everything. As we know, since the pandemic, it has been very usual, or it's become a norm for people to work from home, which is a great thing. I think it has provided a lot of opportunities for people. It allows them people to spend more time with their family while still being able to work outside of the home, but they're working regular jobs, but while working from home. However, I do think that we need to discuss that it's not everything, and as the world opens back up, it's kind of open by now, but still there are a lot more people working from home now than prior. There's some things that I wanted to talk about. I graduated right after the world was beginning to open up last year, and I did have the opportunity to work exclusively from home, and now I do about hybrid. So I want to talk about my experience and what I think about working from home. So before we get into the video, remember to like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and let's get straight into it. Why working from home is really not everything. So starting with the first one is feeling disconnected from your company. This is especially true if you're doing entry level or if you just started a company while being online. Now there's something about going into a company that you really feel connected. And I know that sometimes in the world that we are today, a lot of people are not always looking to form relationship, and networking doesn't seem to be as important to some people. However, it still is. And to really understand your product, to really understand your department, where you are in your company, sometimes going in really makes a difference. I really felt the difference when I did an internship online and then actually went to the company in Michigan. This was before I graduated college, and I was working as an engineering intern. It really made a huge difference, and it really allowed me to imagine if I could live there and if I accepted a full-time offer there, would that be a good home for me? And even when I moved to my current company, I had the opportunity to work from home exclusively for about 3 months. But when I was able to go in and really understand what was happening, talk to people, just catch somebody in the hallway and talk to them and just communicate, it really felt different, and I was able to feel more connected to my company. So right now I really appreciate the opportunity for me to go in, make connection, build relationship, even get to know people who are not on my team, people that I've never worked with, start building those relationships, being able to just ask questions that I otherwise would not know from the comfort of my own home, but instead I'm in that environment. If you haven't been able to go in and get the opportunity to do so, I think that at least once in a while you should go in to feel that connection. The second thing is feeling disconnected from the employees, your managers, your co-workers, especially if you've never worked with them before. So this is different from really the company in the way I'm talking about the product, the first one, but this one is from your team. Feeling disconnected from your team is huge because teamwork really makes the dream work. If you are in STEM, if you are in business, a lot of fields, it's about teamwork. So if you're not able to have those conversations and you've never really talked to them on a personal level, see their body language, see what they look like, how they talk, the expression, a lot can get lost in the meaning if you're just communicating online. This is especially true if you're not really doing video conferencing, or you're just like doing calls and Skype calls without videos, Microsoft Teams without videos, Zoom without videos. Like, it leads a lot to interpretation because you don't really know this person, so you've not been able to gauge them. And sometimes somebody may say something, you don't know how to take it, but then had you been in person, had you really gotten to know them, you feel like, okay, this is what they mean, this is what they mean. So a lot can get lost in translation when you've never met somebody and when you're working with a team that you don't know. The team principles, maybe you read them on paper, but in person and how the group gels together, you don't get that from being online. The third thing is feeling confined to your desk in a small apartment. And of course, if you went to work, it could feel similar, like you're working in a cubicle. Being able to navigate the environment that you're in, it adds a little bit of extra that you just don't get from your apartment. And you can maybe see something that you never saw before. Like I said, again, meet people. There's always an opportunity to learn that is not when you're in the apartment. So it's just feeling confined to this one room. But what would happen? How enhanced would it be if you were inside a different environment, an environment that was created specifically for that work? Sometimes I underestimate the importance of being in person, the importance of being able to sit in your work cubicle, not at home, not on the desk or the dining table that you eat at, that you sit to do everything. You can really get more. The fourth thing is not going out. And this is obviously not for everybody, but for some of us, especially after the pandemic and in recent years, a lot of people are not going out as much as they used to. I saw this happen with myself when I was in my apartment working every single day, even during the weekends when I wasn't working, I still wouldn't go out. I got to a point where I was like ordering groceries in, really just going out maybe once a week, that was to church, and then coming back in. I was just very enclosed, and I think sometimes when you're working outside of your home, it forces you at least to once a day or once every other day, whenever you're going in, to get out and to do things. And so when I found myself going to work more, I found myself also going out more, to like grocery shopping, to just going out to the park, doing something that's fun, going out for walks. And that's something that you have to be intentional about. But if you are working a job that is just remote because that's how it is, still make the opportunity to actually go out and do other stuff. Go out and just breathe the fresh air instead of just getting stuck in your apartment. The fifth thing is possibly snacking and eating a lot. And this is something that, again, I can take from personal experience, that when I was working from home, I was prone to snacking. I love a snack or two or three. And that's something that I would do often because I'm at home, I'm comfortable, and I just like get something to eat while working. There's more snacks somewhere, so I go get it and I'm eating. And again, this is not for everybody, but I think when you are outside of your home and comfortable environment, a lot of time we plan better as to what we're gonna eat for lunch. So for example, when I go into work, I take my lunch. So I plan to eat this package and I'm intentional about it. And I do take snacks sometimes as well, but again, I'm being intentional about it, and everything is in moderation. I know we've become very sensitive about the topic of eating in popular cultures. From what I saw from my experience, I would just like snack a lot more than I otherwise would if I am not working from home. And it has something to do with self-control, because now that I do still work from home sometimes, I'm not snacking as much. The sixth thing is the lack of socializing. And this goes back to the not being able to just meet somebody and strike up a conversation the hallway, walking to lunch, taking a walk, going to the restroom, whichever it is. It's not spontaneous. If somebody needs to get a hold of you, they have to call you, email you, and I'm not saying that's not a good thing. The opportunity for spontaneous communication and, oh, by the way, let me tell you this, or, oh, do you know this is happening? There's not opportunity for that in your apartment. The people are not there. And if you're, again, in your apartment all day for hours, it's something that can really take a toll on you over time, because we all need to communicate with people. As human beings, we are social creatures, and we thrive when we at least have some communication and socializing in our daily or weekly lives. But if you're, again, sitting in your apartment, not really socializing with people, it can have negative effects on you, especially if that's the only way you would otherwise socialize. The seventh one is not optimizing career growth. Now, everybody has different goals for their careers and where they see themselves going. But one thing is for sure, networking is very important. And if you are not always going in person, or you don't go in person at all, you don't know people by face, being able to optimize your career might be challenging. Of course, the work that you present and your performance really puts your name out there, but you also need those connections, people who would remember that, people who would be like, yeah, that is Peter, that, you know, he does this and this is what he's doing. People would like see you and be able to strike up a conversation and network with you. And I'm so glad that I have the opportunity to do that currently at my job. And when I do go in, I can make the effort to say hi to people. I make the effort to participate in conversations and things going on. And I think that's very important, especially if you're very early on in your career and you hope to continue in this career path, network and perform your way towards bigger and better things in the future. The eighth thing is the lack of motivation that could come as a result of being at home. And this is especially true when you're working on a product that you can't see. You can't see the results of it. So for example, if I was, say, building this phone, I can literally see the result of each piece coming together for this phone to be what it is today. And that's great. But sometimes when you're online working and you don't see the results of what you're doing, and you're working on a product that just seems to be almost imaginary, what ends up happening is that you could lose motivation. But when you're able to go in, you're able to see the product, you're able to touch it, feel it, you're able to connect with it, connect with the people who are going to use it, the people who are building other parts of it. You're able to strike up those conversations. It makes it more interesting. It adds a layer of nuance to your job that now you are able to connect on a deeper level than, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do, so this is what I'm doing. It opens up your mind to critically think about other opportunities to optimize what you're doing. And that is very important, especially if you're looking to go above and beyond in your performance. You're trying to, again, network with people around this product. The ninth thing is not seeing the bigger picture. And this is banking off of the last one, which is, if you are in an environment where you're able to really see and feel what you're doing, you're able to get a really big picture of what is the goal. And I'm not saying that cannot translate online, but a lot of times, if you've never especially been into that environment, it's hard to really imagine. Even if you see pictures, you see videos, if it's not something that is software related, or like I'm talking about directly software, it makes it better when you're able to see something, a prototype, touch it, when you're able to see one that was like maybe an old edition. These things add to the experience of being an employee at the company. And instead of feeling so disconnected, not being able to see the bigger picture of like, why is this important? Because you're online, you're not able to see like how things connect as much. It really takes away from what could have been. And you have a small picture, but you really don't have that big picture. The 10th thing is something that is less talked about, which is burnout from overworking. I really think that a lot of people who work online overcompensate for that by working either so many hours or well above what they otherwise would in the office. So for example, some people go to the office at, say, 7:30, and then they get off at what, 3-4 p.m. But that's about the time most people are also leaving. So it's like a reminder, oh, like, hey, are you heading out? And it's like, yeah, I'm heading out, let's walk out together. At home, you get so comfortable that you're just working, and work bleeds into your other everyday environment. It just blurs this line where you are unable to separate work and regular life. It gets to a point where you're going to bed and you think of something, you're like, oh my goodness, like, let me just do this. And then you pull out your work computer and then you're working on something. It opens the opportunity for overworking and possibly burning out, because now this work is infiltrating every aspect of your life, and you need to be able to put up boundaries that even if you're working from home, there's still boundaries as to work starts at this time, work ends at this time. And I even do this thing where I work at one corner of my apartment, which is like around my desk, and then I do not take work into the kitchen, I do not take work into my bedroom, I do not take work into no, I just sit at my desk and that work when I'm working from home. And with that, I am bringing this video to an end. Thank you so much for watching, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and ring the notification bell because I post 2 videos a week on Tuesdays and on Fridays. Thank you all. Let me know in the comment section, have you ever worked from home? What was your experience like? Did you experience any of this around that time when you were working from home, or if you currently are? Thank you so much. Remember to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and ring the notification bell if you haven't already, because I post 2 videos a week on Tuesdays and on Fridays. Thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.